In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 red flags in relationships. Hi, I'm Sharp Game coming at you with another video from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. So let's get straight into it. Got a question a couple days ago. Someone wanted to know some tips, certain things you should realize in the beginning when you first getting in a relationship, when you first getting to know somebody in the beginning stages. And this is a good question because sometimes, even myself, at certain points, certain things I used to let slide. I used to let it go over my head. I used to kind of like, hey, no big deal or whatever. And depending on what it is, that can sometimes be a mistake. And the reason why that happens is because a lot of guys, we tend not to set boundaries in the beginning. We kind of go with the flow, and that's not a good idea. You have to set boundaries. If you wait on women to set boundaries, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. So you as the man, you have to set the boundaries. You have to establish, in the beginning, how the relationship is going to be, the dynamics between you and her. If you wait on women to do it, it's probably not going to happen. She's more than likely, if you don't establish the boundaries in the beginning, she's going to do stuff that she's done in the past relationships. If she's had any past relationships, that's what usually happens. So the first thing I would say, just a couple first red flag I would say is if she lies about certain things. Doesn't have to necessarily be anything serious, but it's like certain. It could be white lies. It could be things where it's like you might be asking yourself, why is she lying about that? I mean, what? She might say something like, "Hey, I worked out today," but come to find out, she didn't. She was home in bed. I mean, it's no reason to lie about that. Or she might say, "Hey, I went to church today," but come to find out, she didn't. Or she might say something like, my mom asked about you, or somebody asked about you, but come to find out, she didn't. Nobody asked about you. So what's this really all? What is this really all about? And a lot of times this stems prior relationships, or could be bad habits. You just never know, but you need to address that. You need to get to the bottom of that, because if you let it linger for too long, it usually becomes a much bigger problems. Because the old saying goes, what you ignore persists. So I would say the lies is something in the beginning. You gotta get to the bottom of that. See what that's all about. And the next thing I would say is manipulation. If maybe y'all might be together, and y'all might have an agreement about something, and when that day and that time comes about, she'll just switch up, or it'll be something else. So she'll lead you on to think that it was one thing, but once y'all got there, it's something else. And you're looking like, hey, what's this about? I thought what we talking about earlier, this ain't what it is. And then maybe she's doing things, behind your back, which brings me to my next point. Trust. And maybe it's you don't feel safe around her. Maybe she's doing things behind your back. Maybe she's doing things to undermine you and make you look bad in front of your friends and family, or just in public, period. Maybe she could be a little vindictive. Maybe if you do something that she doesn't like, and she might be the type where it's like she'll be like, "Hey, I'm doing this because of that," so she'll justify why you did that, why she's doing this because of that. That's not good. I mean, she has some issues. I mean, she has some issues going, some trust issues going on from the past, baggage, you know. And that don't have anything to do with you, really, because in her mind, you know, if from previous experience, if, you know, she might feel if someone does this and I don't like it, that gives me the right of way to do that, to get back. But there's some people that feel that way, you know. And then check this out. If you check her on it, she might feel like, she might not like that. She might feel like, hey, I don't think you should be addressing me like this about the situation. She might not like it. So if that's the case, you know, you might have to charge her to the game. Especially if she's doing things behind your back to undermine your progress, whatever you're doing, you know. I mean, it's like, especially if she's manipulates and does things that you don't know about. Maybe she talks to people that you know, could be your friends and family, and you don't know what's being said. You don't even know that she's talking to these people until they call you and tell you what's going on the phone, and this your first time hearing this, and you're thinking like, what the heck going on, you know? So see, that's not good, because they're calling you, they're acting like you supposed to know what's going on, but you don't know what's going on. So if this continuously happens over and over, you're probably going to have to charge her the game. Because not only is she doing things to undermine you, doing things behind your back, telling people stuff that you don't know about, embarrassing you, you know, because for the most part, I've met a lot of people that were like this. If a lot of times people like this, they don't want to seem embarrassed, because for them it's all about their image. They'll do anything to protect their image. So if things hit the fan, they will embarrass you to protect their image. I've met people that were like this. So if that happens, you're really gonna have to you have to get away from people like that, because if she'll make you look bad in front of people, do stuff to undermine you, and do things behind your back, she's capable of doing anything. She'll get you hurt. She might even get you killed if things really hit the fan. You know, this is why the jails is packed with a lot of guys, because a lot of women had a lot to do with them being in there. Trust me, I got a lot of stories for you on this, because a lot of guys have women around them that's not really down with them, and they ran their mouth when they didn't have to. They volunteered information that they didn't. Of course, they probably didn't. Most of the time, they don't think the information would be harmful, but it is. Turned out to be, because she ran her mouth. She didn't have to say anything. She volunteered information. So you can't have women around you that's like this. They got the blabbermouth that's willing to volunteer information, the strangers and cops and that people that tell all your personal business to everybody once y'all have a little problem, a little disagreement. Women that get on the, you might have a argument or disagreement. She'll get on the phone and call people and tell her friends and family what's going on. And now, when they see you, they're going to be looking at you funny style. Like you're the bad guy now. You cannot tolerate that. You can't tolerate that type of drama. That type of chaos. That's dysfunctional. At best. At worst, I should say. That's dysfunctional. So you can't tolerate that. And the last thing I would say is if you were a woman, and let's say you've been around her for a while, a couple months, y'all been spending a lot of time together, and nobody likes her. I'm talking nobody likes her. Your friends don't like her. Your family don't like her. People at the job don't like her. Like, my goodness. Even you ain't even introduce her to people. They don't like her either. Damn. Come on, man. This happened to me twice in my life. It's like I introduced both of them to other groups of women, and because they ain't had no friends. They really don't have no. They got people they call every once in a while and gossip over the telephone, or the type of associates I see when I see it, or I'll call you when it's time to hang out and have a good time. That ain't friends. That's just hangout buddies. But I introduced them after the fact, after I figured out that a lot of women just don't like them. People in general just don't like them. So I introduced them to multiple women. And I said, hey, this is my woman, blah, 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 my whatever, right? And at the end of the night, sometimes they exchanged phone numbers, sometimes they didn't. But even when they got the phone number, they still didn't call them. It's never made no friend. Now, and let me tell you when I knew they didn't like her, both of these women, is because we seen them on multiple occasions. And I found out out of all the numbers that they collected, they called the other girls, but they didn't call the girls that I was with. God. See, that's somebody like, you gotta let her go. This bad. She's bad for business. Because what's gonna happen? Let's say you have a job, maybe you have an office job, and what's gonna happen? Or maybe you're like, maybe you're in the tech space, or maybe you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, whatever. But let's just say you have to go to a conference, or you have to go to an event, or it's the holidays, and you got to take her with you, of course. Or maybe you got some people coming from out of town to see, that's going to be in your area, and you want to invite people, the couple over, and they like you, but they don't like her. So that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I've tried this. Trust me. That's not going to work. Now when you see them, the couple, of course they'll be cordial and everything will be cool because they like you. But if they don't like your wife or your girlfriend, it's not going to last. It's not. Now when they see you, okay, of course they'll be cool with you and everything or whatever. But it ain't going to be no long-term friendship. Trust me. The only way it's going to be a long-term friendship is if all four people like each other. If they don't like one person, if that couple don't like one person in the couple, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. I'm telling you. I've had this experience twice, and I've seen other people. I've observed this, and I've asked them. I said, "Hey, how come y'all don't visit such and such no more or whatever?" They'll say, "Well, her husband is cool, but I don't like the wife very much." Or they'll say, "The wife is cool, but I ain't crazy about the husband very much." Or the girlfriend is alright, and the boyfriend, we don't really know him that well. So it ain't gonna work. So If no one likes them, they have no friends, they're not very likable, not very approachable, you're going to have to leave her alone. It just ain't going to work. I'm telling you, man. Because, and then it's been other times where I've taken these women to events, local events. I never took nobody to conferences too, yeah. And it's just not going to go well. You know, it's not going to work. But they got nervous at the conference, at the event. Because, you know, at these events, there's a lot of people. It's hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people. They get nervous because of other people. Because they're like, hey, I don't know these people. I don't know them either. I know some of them. I don't know everybody. It's hundreds of people in here. So it's like, it's that dynamic to play out. So if she's not a people person, if she's not likable or approachable, forget about it. Forget about it. And you can't teach no woman how to be friendly. You can't teach nobody how to be friendly. I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, I could be wrong about that, but I don't think you can teach anybody to be friendly. Some people are just awkward, you know. I mean, awkward to, I don't know, maybe to their standards, I don't know. But I'm telling you, you know, if no one likes them, just keep it moving, man. So, hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like it, share it, and if you like this video, check out my Patreon by clicking the link below. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.